featuring Fotigoni on Buzuki. And it brings us to 9:15 in the morning, and you are tuned to Grecian Echoes here on WNTN. 1550 AM in Cambridge, Needham, and Boston. We are streaming at WNTN.com on this Monday, December 15th, 2025. It's Mondays with Meleti, and your host, Meleti Pouliopoulos. At this time, I have a very special guest joining us via Zoom. He lives in Camden, Maine, and he's the captain of a schooner, the Lazy Jack schooner that's offering day sails and charters. Originally from Alton, Illinois, Nikolas Kodros. Kalimera, Nikolas.
Kalimera, Meleti.
Kalimera,
Good morning.
how are you? Good morning. How was that storm? Did it hit you last night?
No, we were okay. No big storms here. It looked like it hit all southern Maine, not
You,
here in Camden.
it occurred to me that you're the captain of a boat. You have this a schooner, and every time we have a storm, we're not sure how to predict the weather, and so I can imagine what it must be on the water sometimes if something comes out of the blue, or they say an inch and it ends up being 6 inches or something like that.
That's right. That's right. You have to keep your head on a swivel with the weather up here.
Well, it's interesting the story. Thank you so much for joining us. And we had met. I guess it was about a year or so ago, or was it two? I'm not sure. But up there in Camden, and you had told me about this very interesting story about a holy relic that was in your family's possession. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. And thank you for having me. Yes, my family was in possession of a holy relic of the Orthodox Church. It happened to be the skull of a saint. His name was Lazarus.
Saint.
And yeah, that's right.
Really? And how did they come by it?
Well, we believe that someone in our family was a monk and passed it off, probably during a time of war.
Yeah, right. And what did you find out about this particular saint, Lazarus?
Well, he was a young man that was accused of a crime that he didn't commit, and they had asked him, and they, I suppose, being the Ottoman Empire, asked him to convert, and he would not do that.
Right. And so for that reason they beheaded him, and he was martyred for his faith and his the resistance.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah.
Uh,
Beheading amongst other
th-
ways of torture, I believe. Yes.
it was so long ago, and this is what do you know when he was beheaded?
Well, I believe it was early in the 1800s. I believe in 1802.
1802. And
Yes,
so still under the Ottoman Empire. And to the fact that there's a story where he was accused, that's really interesting. How did that piece of information come down? Was that passed along in the family, or what?
well, we did some research, and there is a bit of information online about Lazarus, and uh,
Oh,
and the
really?
story is there. Yes,
Before you came public with your head.
yes. I did some research and had found some information about Lazarus.
Okay, so this became probably over 100 years ago. You're guessing now and was passed down from generation to generation. Was this known in the community where you were, or did you keep it quiet?
Well, I think that the family knew of its importance and protected it in the way that they thought was best.
Yeah, I mean, did you tell other people about it? Did you tell your friends, your family's friends, and your extended family, or was it something that you just kept private?
I think extended family may have known,
Yeah.
but I don't think it was a public knowledge that we were keeping it.
Yeah. And so what was the change? If you've had it all this years, and what drove you to think that maybe it was time for it to go back?
Well, after a few visits to Greece myself, and how things played out in the family, and it how it was passed down, the family had decided it was time. And I had made some connections on Andros and had befriended some of the monks and had told them about it. and they welcomed its return.
Now, how did you find out that it was from Andros? Is that something that's written, or do you have anything, any literature that was with the head when you received it?
Well, on the relic itself, there is an inscription and the name of a village, uh, Papaya.
Oh, okay.
Um, right, and that is where we believe that my great grandfather came from, as well as my great grandmother, on the island of Andros.
Okay.
And yeah.
Now, your last name is a very famous name, a historical name in Greece that has roots in Asia Minor. Did you know that?
Well, I'm not certain what you've heard.
Wasn't there a I think, if I'm not mistaken, right, there was a the last he was a king. He was a prince, wasn't he? I think in
Yes,
Athens, right? Okay, so you do know a little bit about this. I had to reach in my history mind here. It was tell us in Athens, I believe.
right. Yeah, I believe what I've seen is Kodros was the last king of Athens. Now he was semi-mythical, whatever that may mean. I believe he martyred himself to
Yeah.
win a war.
We have a lot of that going on. But but tell me, how did you find that it was Andros, this monastery? You mentioned that you were in touch with monks. Did you do your own research, or did they reach out to you, or how did that connection happen?
Well, on my first visit to Andros, I was warmly welcomed um, by the people that lived there, and they insisted that I visit the monastery. And as I met the monks, they showed me the head of another saint, Pantalemon, and I said, "Well, I've got one of those." And
That's a little different than my conversations. Do you still have this Trio Volcanto album? And I'm like, sure. But ahead. So let's just for the listening audience that may not understand, this is over almost over 200 years old, right? I would say when the
that's
man
right.
was beheaded, and it's encased. Is there a word for that? So I want to say casket, but that's not the right word.
They did call it a relic box.
A relic box, and it was describe what the box looked like, because this is we don't have a visual. I think we put a picture of it on Facebook, but just for the audience that isn't on Facebook, what did that look like?
Well, it is encased in silver. The skull is encased in silver. It has two windows on the side to view the skull. And there's elaborate inscriptions written all over the relic, um, naming the saint and
Hmm.
where it was dedicated
Wow,
and the year.
that's really something. And now, so you have this, and you've decided that you want to take it back, bring it back to Greece. You've made a connection with the monastery, but how are you going to get it through the TSA and get it on a plane or on a boat? You wanted to carry it, right? You weren't going to just FedEx it over. This is something that has to be hand carried.
That's correct. Yes, and that was a big stipulation with returning it is that it we wanted it to be returned in our hands, not someone else. Um, but
Yeah.
yes, TSA was an obstacle, but it wasn't as big of an obstacle as I thought it was going to be. Actually,
So what was the process? Who did you contact?
well, it's impossible to get a human being on the phone there, but we did end up emailing and explaining what it is that we have,
Mm.
and it fell under a certain category of a religious relic, which was quite easy to get through in the end.
Oh, once you had it identified, and how was that authenticated? I mean, it seems to me that I could say I have a religious. Did you have to take a picture or anything, or you just showed
Uh,
up with it?
yeah, well, last year when we went to Greece and to the monastery, I asked the monks there to give me an official letter explaining what it is and that they did want it back, although it is written in Greek. So that didn't do us any good for the American TSA. But ultimately, we just showed up, and I said, "This is what I've got. It's a holy relic. It is a human skull."
Mhm.
And they just said, "Can we X-ray it?" And I said yes, and we went through. It seriously only took a matter of minutes.
And did you have it? Did you have it in another box, like a hat box or something, or were you actually carrying this beautiful, ornate, holy relic in the silver encasing, the silver box? You were carrying that through the airport,
We did have it concealed
right?
in a box as to not, bring too much attention to ourselves
Yeah,
and to protect it. Obviously, we even added some bubble wrap, I think, in to try to cushion,
right.
for the turbulence on the 13-hour flight to Greece.
That is really something. It's really, really something. So you held it in your lap or by your side. Or you
Yeah,
didn't put it up on.
ultimately,
Yeah,
yeah, just right there with me and my brother, John, and we flew all the way over.
that's really great. Had John been to Greece before to as well, or were you the first one in your family to go back?
John had visited last year with me prior to this spring, uh, just to get a lay of the land, and we were discussing with the monastery how to return the relic. So that was his second visit to Greece.
If you're just joining us this morning, my guest is Nikolas Kodros. He is a captain of a schooner in Camden, Maine, originally from Illinois, and his family was in possession of a holy relic, the saint of a head, Saint Lazarus, who was martyred in the early 1800s. His family decided to uh, to repatriate, I guess, the holy remains. And just very quickly, when you went to the monastery, was there a reception there? I think you sent me a video. There's a video online of, was that when you first arrived and there was a monk that was holding the casket?
That's right. Yeah, when we onboarded the ferry, we did. We were received by the monastery, and then people began to line up um,
Did,
to honor the relic.
did that move? How was that as an experience for you? I mean, being at with family ancestry in Andros, obviously this was a big trust that a church or however how that handoff happened to your family, it was entrusted there, and now it's coming back, and people are venerating this, right? They were kissing and making the signs of their cross, and how did that make you feel?
It was very emotional and quite life changing. It's something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. Very very emotional and just an amazing experience all around. It felt amazing.
And now, since now, when did all this happen? The return was in this past year.
It was we decided to return the relic for Easter of this year,
Mm.
right? So in April is when we
Oh,
set.
2025.
That's correct. Yes,
Oh, very good. And you kept it very very much a secret. I think you hadn't really you didn't want any press on it, any attention. You just didn't want to detract, I think, from that responsibility, that great responsibility. But there was an article that was written, and that was on your return. Was that the article from the newspaper in Maine?
that's correct. Yes, a local journalist had heard the story, maybe online on Facebook or something like that, and had reached out and said this would be an interesting story to do. So I did agree to do that. But yeah, initially, I don't think we weren't trying to bring too much attention to it. Just the family's wishes were to return it to Greece, so that was our mission.
Did you have anyone there in Andros that said, "Hey, I'm your distant cousin" or anything like that? Did any of that come forward on this trip?
Not necessarily on the trip, this particular one, but there were many people that we'd met that we have determined, are our relatives. My family left Greece, over 100 years ago. So we're distant, but we did find the link between us,
Yeah.
and which was very special as well.
Well, you'll be surprised to know, or maybe not. It's such a small world. But I had made some announcements this morning that you were coming on the air, and a little bit of information here, a little bit of information there, and I received an email with someone who said, "Hey, do you realize that we have all these connections? My family's from Andros, my cousin's family's from Andros, so this is the Metropolis family, Catherine." Metropolis and Lucky Metropolis. They're sponsors of the program here. Very very involved in the community. The Davoses as well. Mina Davos was born in Andros, like Catherine Metropolis's father, and Chuck Samiotis and Yanis Bergantis. From Party Favors in Brookline, first cousins, and Basil, the comedian. So there, Basil Pergantis. There's a lot of people that we know here. And what I'm thinking is, has anyone asked you maybe to give a talk or a presentation where you could come in and maybe show your pictures and talk about the journey and we can show the films and stuff? Would that be something that you might do someday?
I would love to do something like that. I would love to share the story, and my experience.
What I'm hoping is that there are other people from Andros will come forward and that we can try to stitch some of the history. Are Have you gone back any further now in what intrigues me is the name, your last name, which happens to be the name of that prince from the last king, I guess, from you know many many years ago. Do you think that there might be a tie or there's more records that we can dig up? Would that be something you'd be interested in?
I'd be very interested to find out, the lineage and how we ended up on Andros and where did we come from.
Yeah, in the old days, the older people would always try to find each other. It was sort of like the Anatevka kind of thing when they go to the new lands and where you're from, well, you're from Andros. So I think it would really be a great, great talk, and I'd love to work with you on that. There's so is there something else that do you feel that you'll go back? Are they still in touch with you at the monastery? Have they been in touch? Any other news that way?
Yes, actually, Nicholas, my name day was just a couple, well, what, a week ago,
Oh,
and
Pola, that's right.
sorry, so
That's right. Yay. And they,
and the monastery reached out to wish me, a happy name day, which
that
is
is incredible. That is incredible. And they knew that the particular monk, I forget, do you remember his name? I think I read it in a news report. It was
Philaritos.
Philaritos. Okay. And the monastery that it went to?
It's monastery Panakrantu.
Panakrantu. Okay, so that's great. That is really really great. So if anyone knows any of these towns or knows anyone in Andros, do spread the word. We're going to be putting together a little podcast of this particular segment. Nicholas, thank you so much for coming on and telling your story this morning. It really warms my heart to know you and to know that you did the right thing by expatriating that to Greece. It wasn't something that you were going to bring to the Antiques Roadshow and say, "Oh, we'll keep it." So many of our artifacts end up being on the market that way, or held in private homes and not shared. And what you did was a very very great thing. And after all, this is the giving season, so I hope all of that goodness continues to come back to you.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Meleti, and thank you for letting me share my story.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest this morning was Nikolas Kondros. He's just done a very, very beautiful thing, and this holy relic that was in his family has now been expatriated. It's been returned to Greece, and it's in a monastery on the island of Andros. Uh, just wonderful, wonderful. It's Mondays with Meleti and your host, Meleti Pouliopoulos.